Good morning, everyone. Um, Thought I'd give it a musical introduction. Bonus points to anyone who can actually identify that song and the artist. I don't know, give you like half an extra mark for your second assignment, something like that. So, what I want to do today is just give you some general feedback on assignment one. For those that I've marked already, there are about 11 pieces still outstanding. Thanks to extenuating circumstances around the global apocalypse that we're going through at the moment. It's perfectly understandable, so I'll mark those as and when they come in. But I have marked, 38, something like that, of the ones which have come in already. So I want to give you some feedback on those. And I want to take you through, once again, the second assignment as it goes through. And I want you to participate in a little bit of thinking about what you want to do next week. My idea is to have some kind of open seminar at 1 p.m. UK time next Monday the 20th of April. But I'm going to get you guys to vote on that and to give some preferences for how that wants to be actually done as well. So I'll come to that towards the end. So without further ado, though, let me get into some feedback on the first assignment. So I'm going to start, and if you've stumbled across the video I made for first years last week on their MS-120 Introduction to Media History essay, you'll note that I started with those guys on things that I hated. You guys are going to start with things that I liked. So the things that I actually thought you did well and, kind of deserve a bit of praise for. And they're really, really straightforward, really. A lot of you did a lot of good work with integrating your research really well. That is in the marking criteria. Those who perhaps have not done as well as they might have hoped might want to look at this, and you perhaps didn't quite integrate it as well as you could have. There was a number of pieces actually where I could clearly see what research you were drawing on in order to do this, but you kind of refused to talk about it very much, which was a bit of a shame. And refused to surface it in the actual work itself. But the majority of you did a really good job of linking your practices on social media to the research that's been discussed in the module. And obviously part 2 is all about this, and I'll get to that later. Loads of really good creative work going on. I was really, really pleased. You guys did fantastic on that. Excellent. Generally a very good focus on the practices of use. I think the better projects really got into those practices of use about the why you do it. Quite a lot of projects were simply, this is what I do. And that's not quite what the purpose of this was. You're supposed to unpick why you do it. But to a greater or lesser extent, pretty much everyone did that. And on a personal level, a lot of the work was actually really, really funny. So, considering we're in this situation that we are at the moment, that was really, really welcome. So overall, just to take you through sort of the range of things, marks have ranged from 50 up to 82. Okay, so there's quite a big range of marks, but I haven't given many grades in the 2-2 category, 50 to 59. I haven't actually given that many in the first category, 70, in this case up to 82. Probably 7 or 8 who came into that. And the vast majority of you have actually got higher 2-1s in this project, which is really, really good. I still think people have got this bizarre notion that you have to get a first in everything. This is a 2-part assignment. Now, what happened last year is that actually quite a lot of people got firsts for this, and then their marks came down on the basis of their essays. But from what I know about you guys, actually, I was kind of expecting this to happen. You've all done, pretty much all done really, really well on this first assignment, but your actual quality of your written work of you guys as a group is actually much better than the students that I had last year. So I was expecting this to happen, and I think probably a lot of you are looking at firsts overall for this module because you'll produce something really, really good for the second assignment. Let's just quickly, though, it wouldn't be me if I didn't actually get into what made me angry and sad about things. So just giving you a second to read this slide, obviously. A lot of work actually made no reference to theory at all. Now, excuse me, I'm just having a drink of my tea. That was bad, okay? No reference to theory at all, even where it was explicit to me that work was drawing on particular theorists. To not make any reference at all is actually a really, really bad thing. You need to show some awareness that you're actually engaging with theory. There was a hell of a lot of work out there that started with the kind of basic premise that, you know, Instagram is this, Snapchat is this, Facebook is this. I know what those things are. I've been writing about these things for 13 years. I actually know, I don't want to big myself up too much here, okay? But I kind of know more than you do about what these things actually are. So that was kind of pointless. And if it was the odd project, I'd let it slide. You know, I'm not a bad guy. I'd let that one go. But it wasn't the odd project. It was loads of projects that started on this basis. Instagram is a social network based on... I know what the Instagram is. You don't need to do that. Okay? Don't treat me like a child. Don't patronize me. I am here to patronize you. Let's get this relationship straight. I patronize you. You don't patronize me. There was some issue around conclusions or the lack of them. The purpose of this, and I've said this several times in seminars and in advice and in the first advice video I made for this module, the purpose of this project really was to set up a number of conclusions that you could use in your critical reflective essay, part 2. Quite a few pieces of research didn't really do this. You left it in a really general state. These are the things I do, not, you know, these are the main things I found. So some of you are going to have to go back to your projects now and really pull out what were the main things you found, because you're going to need to structure your essay around what you actually found in this project. So that is a really, really important thing. The other thing that kind of made me sad was a kind of a lack of depth of analysis. And what I mean by that is, if I, you know, and this is basically what I did, right? I kind of blocked off a day and a half, 2 days to watch all these projects, or to view these projects, or to read these projects. Which was fine, and no problem doing that. Nice way to spend my time. My conclusion from all this would be that you guys are all the same. Now, I know you're not the same. And I actually know that your practices of using social media are highly individualistic. Even if you're best friends with someone in the room and you're very similar to one another, you still use social media on your own terms in a very different way to that other person does. But that wouldn't necessarily be the case if I was an alien who just landed from Mars and I viewed this as the way that people use social media. In fact, my conclusions, if I was that alien from Mars, would be that basically you guys are basic. You know, you all do the same things. I know that's not true. So there was a lack of analysis going on here to unpick what it is you actually do with social media. And in that context, that was kind of disappointing. You had an opportunity here to explore the idiosyncratic nature of your usage and to explore your sort of individuality with things. And some people did this really, really well. And other people just didn't get into it in that way. It's not as if I scalped loads of marks off you for doing that, but it was kind of, it kind of reeks a little bit of some people put a lot of effort into understanding what they do, and some people did it on a much more surface level, and that might pay off in part 2. You know, when people have got lots of individual things to say and they can really get into their practices, whereas some of you may not be able to do that so effectively. Celery, you didn't, like, you know, lose out on major marks or anything like that by doing it that way. So that's the basic sort of feedback that I've got for you. Now, my plan is I'm getting in touch with the assessment office and I want them to release your grades and feedback as soon as possible, because I recognize you need that information to do this second assignment. So I'm getting in touch with them today. I've been in touch with them this morning and I'm waiting on a reply, and I'm hoping to get that done. That might be complicated by the very fact that so many people haven't submitted yet. That is an issue, that is a problem, In which case, if I can't get that done, and if you haven't heard from me by the end of this week, it's a fairly good, indication that that's not going to happen. I am happy to skirt around the rules here. Okay, if you want individualized feedback on your first assignment from Monday next week, okay, can't do it this week, but from Monday I can start releasing that feedback to you in an edited kind of fashion. What I will do is I will go on to Turnitin, I will pull your feedback down, and we will have a chat about it, or we will discuss via email. I might have to give you an indicative grade rather than your exact grade, but I will tell you what you did well, I will tell you perhaps what you didn't do well, and I will tell you what you need to do for assignment 2. So we will find a way around it. So moving very, very swiftly into assignment 2, here is my advice. Okay, point 1, get your conclusions sorted and ready now. A lot of you have already done this. A lot of you rounded off your work, and indeed, the highest scoring work did this really, really effectively. You've pulled your conclusions together. If you haven't pulled your conclusions together from assignment 1, you need to do that right now. You need to get into it and say, these are my conclusions from assignment 1. Minimum of 3 things that I found when I was doing this work. Okay, bang, 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 have them there. That is a minimum. You can have more, by all means, but I want to see 3 minimum conclusions out of your work, because that is how you will structure assignment 2. You need to get into the theory in a major way now as well. Now remember, if you go through your emails, I set up a Google Drive folder with lots of material in that Google Drive folder. If you haven't been on it yet, get on it now. There is actually very little excuse in this module for not being able to get hold of resources, because I've done that for you. Okay, do not think, okay, this essay, I'm not going to get too much into theory because I can't get hold of the books. You can. And what's more, and I said this at the beginning of the module, use the lecture slides. There's huge amounts of quotation on them. The referencing for in-text references is basically done for you off the slides. It's not my work. You use it. As long as you cite it properly, that's absolutely fine. You use that material from the slides. The slides have been done so you can pick up stuff and drop it into your essays at this point. That was the whole point of doing this module like it. It's why I break my back reading 7-8 books for each 2-hour lecture for this module, so that you guys have that material to use. So there is huge amounts of material out there for you to use in this essay, both in my slides and on the Google Drive folder. Use it. I want to see research in these essays. But this brings me to point 3. This is actually not an essay. It is a critical reflective essay. So, what does that mean? It is about your work. It is not about the platforms. It is not an essay on Instagram. It is not an essay on WeChat. It is not an essay on Twitter. It is not an essay on Snapchat. It is not an essay on Facebook. It is about your work, what you did in your project. It isn't about those things in abstract. It isn't about how it works. It isn't about how that's done. Okay? It is about your findings of your research, not these things in general. This essay is about what you found, about your conclusions. It is not about Instagram. Of course, if you did your project on Instagram, kind of is about Instagram in a way, but it is actually about how you use Instagram, not Instagram as a thing. Writing in the first person is okay because you are talking about stuff you did. I am not going to penalise you for writing in first person. Just don't go crazy. Don't start everything with, I did this, I did that, I did that. Okay, don't be a narcissist, all right? Still write in an academic fashion, but if you have to refer to your own project as I found, that's absolutely fine. I want you to analyse your findings. Okay, this is why I'm talking about the conclusions. I want to analyse your findings. Find the context for those findings in the academic work of this module. That is the whole purpose of this critical reflective essay. You found these things. How does this reflect on the academic work of the module? How does the academic work explain what you found? How can you contextualize your behavior in the academic work of this module? Okay? And we have a huge amount of academic work. This module was packed with academic stuff. It was so academic. It was so theoretical. It was hard work. I appreciate. This is why. Now your 2,000 word essay should be straightforward for you to do, because you just need to locate where your findings map onto the elements of the course that we did. If you want to go for gold, do your findings criticize or contradict any of the academic theory in this module? If it does, oh, that is pay dirt. That is gold. That is, I will exalt you from high. That's amazing, because you're in the position there to actually give an informed, critical analysis of academic work itself. That's huge. That is huge. So if you can do that, brilliant. I want you all to reflect on Jaron Lanier's 10 reasons for deleting your social media accounts. I want this to be your conclusion. I want you to sum up what you've learned about your social media use, and then reflect on, are you going to keep on using social media after this? I suspect 100% of you are going to say yes. The lecture is up on YouTube. If you haven't watched it yet, you watch it now. And the book is in the shared folder that I've already put out on Google Drive if you need a copy of it. So that is my advice for this part of it. Sorry, I'm writing down the timings of all this so I can edit this video together later. It just saves me time. Moving on to help with the essay. Now this is really what I want to get into here at the end. Please email me drafts. Okay? Now, what does a draft mean? Draft can be an opening paragraph. Draft can be a couple of hundred words. I've already had one off one student of that form, and all I had to do was read through it and say, yeah, you are definitely doing this right. Carry on with what you're doing. Contact me via email for any individual tutorials that you want. We can do those in any means that sets you up in the best way possible. If you want to do it via Skype, if you want to do it via Zoom, if you just want to do something via email, because the idea of Skyping a lecturer brings you into some kind of horror fit, that's fine. I don't have a problem with that, okay? So, contact me with questions, with requests. Me. So, next Monday, I am intending to have a seminar for this module. If there's interest, this will happen at 1 p.m. next week on Monday the 20th April, probably on Zoom, although I've given a couple of other options on the poll. Basically, I want to see who wants to do this. So in the email that I've sent out with a link to this video, there is a link to a Google poll. Just 2 questions. Do you want this to happen, and how do you want it to happen? Fill it in, and I will go from there. And then I will email you out details accordingly on how we're going to be doing this. The main issue with the first assignment was definitely a lack of contact. Despite the circumstances, there is no need to do this essay without consulting me. What I mean by this is, compared to last year, I basically didn't see any of you guys on the first assignment. My group last year, I was seeing them basically flat out all the way through. With you guys, I've probably seen about 5 or 6 people with regards to their projects. And some of the issues with the projects that emerged could have easily been solved. Really, really easily been solved with just one sort of very, very short meeting. Very, very short, like, do this. But you guys didn't come to see me. I put aside 2 weeks of seminars just to have workshops, individual workshops for you guys to do, and 3 people came in those 2 weeks. That has really hamstrung some of you in this, because some of the issues with your projects could have been literally a 1-minute conversation. No, do this. Make sure you do this. And some of you literally have lost some marks because you didn't take advantage of that. Now, for this essay, we have a whole different set of circumstances. You can't come to my office. I can't go to my office. Okay? But you can get in touch with me. You are not doing this on your own. There is an easy way to do this, okay? Please get in touch. I think that's all I have to say on this. So please participate in the poll. I will be back in touch with you guys later this week to confirm or to say it's not going to happen. If you have any questions about assignment 2, you need to get in touch with me now. I will be not going anywhere. I'm not doing anything. I'm not on holiday, you know. Give me something to do. Please give me something to do. I'm writing a book at the moment. It's driving me nuts. Give me something different to do. Okay, and otherwise, I hope you're all staying safe. I hope you're all staying well. I hope you're all staying sane. And, you know, yeah, keep on doing those good things. Okay, thanks, guys.